I just want to make sure that the UVA that's being used for energy, yes. Uh, excuse me, yes. That there's not the UVB being used to control the thoughts or the bodies of those that are mutating. Now, there's a solicitation of bribe, the crime of asking for or inciting another to commit bribery. If you're bribing those that are terrorists, and you thought that being a sheriff or a police officer and your fellow brothers in terrorism, I don't really want this to happen where I'm sleeping at. In fact, I don't want it to happen any place in the United States. So give me all the solar farms, yes, and all the locations where a solar panel could have UVB on the top of it because that is not convertible. Ooh. Mhm. Now, I'm actually wanting to stay in a hotel. Yeah. Mhm. Now, there's a couple other things that I thought we'd look at. Oh, so help me God. Common oath. Yes, I think it's the enlistment oath. There's nobody in the military that remembers that enlistment oath that they said when when that was the all volunteer United States Army. And for every location you find that there's a satellite or some other technology harvesting UVB from the tops of solar panels that are not able to convert it to energy, why don't you find the owner of that satellite or that technology? Yes. And just call them and ask them, well, what are you doing with this? Yes, yes, yes. Get me the employees of all solar farms, and I know about the solar panel tariff. Wouldn't it be something if you tariffed, yes, foreign solar panels so that American manufacturers, knowingly or not knowingly, yes, would manufacture solar panels that were not tariffed that happen to produce a large amount of UVB? Boy, I'd like to know. I really would. I'd like to know. Now, you could probably design a solar panel, yes, when selling it. Yes, you could. You say, well, you put this up on your roof, right? Oh, excuse me. And it'll produce some electricity. It'll help offset global warming and the whole concern about the energy crisis, these various concerns that everybody has. But it's produced in such a way that you could use it for the UVB, and it's a non-tariff product, so it's a lot cheaper than any foreign. So why don't you get me all the tariffs, yes, of any foreign solar panel firm, yes, and then get me all American made, and then just set them up in the sun, in the sunlight, yes, and do a comparison of how much UVB they produce versus the actual energy that they produce. Yes, I think we will. So help me God, every enlisted person in the United States Navy. Now, there's what's known as the soil bank. Yes, I have a concern about soil. Yes, the federal agricultural program in which farmers are paid to not grow crops. Or to grow non-commercial vegetation. Why would you grow certain vegetations that have no sale value? Preserving the quality of the soil, stabilizing commodity prices by avoiding surpluses. You know, I'm a little concerned about this soil bank and the soil conservation services and natural resources, the resources conservation service. Could you call those in the soil conservation services? And then get me all of the federal agricultural programs where they're paying farmers to not grow crops. Let's say I got paid that money. It's your land, okay? It's your land, and they're paying you not to do it. But I show up with a few thousand tons of human nutrient that I myself have designed to produce some sort of well, I call it soil restoration. Maybe your soil's not doing good right now. It needs to be restored, and you remember that prong thing I talked to you about yesterday where it goes into the hard pan? Yes, it does. And somebody's paying me to take away their sewage. There's a lot of money in sewage. I haul it out there to the desert. I grow some green leafy plants, some pumpkins and watermelons because of some water technology I have. And then you decide to use the money that the government's paying you to not grow anything? Yes, to pay me to cause you to grow more than what you were growing before they paid you not to grow anything. No! Increasing yield and harvest. It'd be like using the government's money to make you money to not only not grow something, but to grow something better than when you were not paid to not grow something. Now, there could be some money in this government subsidy program known as the the federal well, let's think about it for a second, okay? They're paying you to grow something that has no commercial vegetation value with the intention that it's going to preserve the quality of the soil and somehow stabilize commodity prices like soybeans, yes, barley, corn. Why don't you get me the actual commodity prices of everything that's saleable while growing on the farm? I'd like to know exactly how many farmers are being paid to not take to market what they're actually growing, or exactly what plants are being grown so as to cause some sort of soil preservation or increase the quality of the soil. Now, you would think that if a soil, right, is defunct of actual nutrients, no longer growing, and you grow a bunch of weeds out there thinking, well, I'll till them under next year and get paid from the government to grow them this year. It might not work how you think because the seed itself doesn't have a lot of. Shush. Now, this government is everywhere in the world that pays farmers to not sell their actual crops or pays farmers to grow plants that have no commercial value because it supposedly restores the the nutrients in the soil or that pays farmers to not actually use their land. I want to know that. I want to know every farmer in the United States of America that's getting paid from the federal government to not produce anything of of any sale.